Welcome, colleagues. Now we're doing math and materials. And as you can see in the slides here, we've got some blue text, and blue text indicates that the topic actually belongs to another grade, but it is taught in this grade. Unfortunately, we still have that. We had to have that. Now, what you will notice in this case is some sort of a peculiar instance in that we have introduction to the periodic table in grade 7, and we have this same topic in grade 8. The reason for this is for us to be able to teach children that missed this topic in grade 8, so that missed it in grade 7, so that we can teach them in grade 8. So that's why we still have it in grade 8. And then chemical reactions which belong to grade 8 are there in grade 9, even though, again, the chemical reactions are there in grade 8. It's for the same reason, right? So that's what we have for math and materials. Now, math and materials, this is where it starts getting perhaps difficult for children. Because in math and materials, at this level, children are expected to understand matter and materials, substances at a microscopic level, as well as at a symbolic level. Now, the difficulty with this also is that matter and materials at those levels, it is based on theories. Nobody has ever seen an atom, for example. So we're talking about things that nobody has ever seen, but they exist theoretically. And that is one of the difficulties that children have with understanding this in this knowledge strand, because many of these things are theoretical. And it is those theoretical aspects that have to come through in our teaching of these things, and how substances behave in a particular way because of things that cannot be seen, but that are theoretically known to exist. Right, so let's see what we did here with the topics. We retained acids, bases, and neutrals. That's it. But we increased time for properties of materials, separating mixtures, and then we reduced the time for introduction to the periodic table of elements. In grade 8, as I had already indicated, we still have introduction of the periodic table of elements, and it is retained as it is. And everything else is retained as it is, right? And in grade 9, seems to have lots of content because it has lots of topics. But actually, we tried to reduce them by, for example, removing part 3, the reactions of acids with bases, as well as reactions of acids with metals. We tried to remove those, but retained the general reactions of acids with bases as it is. The part 1, reactions of acids with bases, we increased time, because we think that if understanding is established well with that, then it will take care of understanding of other aspects relating to acids and bases. So the rest of the other topics are just retained, including the chemical reactions that belong to the previous grade, which is grade 8. Right? So that's what we have here. Now, in talking about these reactions, so you'll notice that grade 9 has chemical reactions mainly. It's about chemical reactions. It's important to understand it's just trying to establish certain patterns. So it's important to recognize certain patterns with chemical reactions. So because what will happen with an acid and a base is what will always happen with an acid and a base. What happens with an acid and a metal is what will always happen. So it's establishing those patterns with these reactions. The other important aspect with these is that of the acids and bases and the pH values, that these acidity can be measured. Basicity can also be measured. So it's important to actually understand those measurements and what their meanings are in identifying substances, because that's part of the understanding that is expected in this grade, that children are able to understand and identify whether certain substances are acids or bases. Thank you for now. We'll do energy and change after the break.